Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back on a day where there is nothing but Star Wars chat right now on the interwebs and all the social media things. Like idiots, we're going to talk about Star Trek Discovery.
Wait, what's the chat about Star Wars? What happened?
Yeah, what happened with Star Wars?
Do you not know? Seriously, like they're like announcing the whole slate of all the new shows that are coming.
Oh no!
Oh, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, where'd you hear that? How did I miss that?
Yeah, I know, man.
When was this? Today?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, it's all over because Disney and Marvel are making a bunch of big announcements of Disney Plus streaming things.
Come on, Johnny. So, you know I live under a rock.
Silly me. Yeah. I was watching all about the vaccine to cure COVID, and real stuff's happening. Like the
wait, Hayden Christensen is back?
He's going to be on the Obi-Wan show.
Oh. Really? Holy shit!
May the forks be with you, indeed.
Wow.
His career. He hasn't worked in 10 years. Or more.
Yeah, it's been a while. Jumper. Remember Jumper?
It's Mirror Universe. Yeah, that's right. I had my beard on.
Yeah, that's something else.
That's true. Dante Hicks with a Ted Knight imitation. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Oh, man. I want to go talk about all this.
I know. I'm going to start looking it up now.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, they're going to do a Lando miniseries with Danelle, what's his name? Right?
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover. No, not Danny Glover.
Donald Glover.
Oh, not
Donald Glover. Yeah,
Danny's the old guy. Yeah. Yes.
Wow. All on Disney Plus?
Yeah. Here, I'll give you we may as well do this because let's talk about
Star Trek.
Yeah, because I don't want to read it while you're doing the show tonight, because that's what I would do.
It's all right,
so we got Star Wars Visions. Season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Star Wars Vision. Marvel and it's crossing over with the Vision?
The what if stuff?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Rogue Squadron.
It's pronounced Rogue.
Rangers of the New Republic.
Wow.
Andor is a prequel to Rogue One with Diego Luna. Hello.
Yeah, that
one I knew about, yeah.
Star Wars Acolyte.
Oh,
and then of course, the Obi-Wan series, and then I don't know any details beyond. I see the logo, Indiana Jones.
What? Where?
Unless my friend made a fake one.
Oh, man,
holy shit!
But yeah, I think that's all.
Oh my God, you're right. Wow, this is blowing up the internet right now. Wow.
And like I said, like an idiot.
Willow TV show.
Yes, Willow. Yeah,
that I know about that. Yeah.
I didn't care about Willow as much.
Yeah, nobody did, but wow.
But although that might be good though.
That gives what's his face a job, Warwick.
Warwick Davis.
I love that guy. He's funny. Cool. I like that guy a lot. What about the baby? Good stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Can we postpone the show for a couple hours so I can go read all this stuff?
Yeah, no kidding. I know. That's why everyone's been waiting for these announcements ever since HBO Max said we're putting our slate on HBO Max.
Oh,
and
right.
You know, they haven't announced it yet because I think they were saving all the Marvel stuff till likely while we're talking right now. But let's see. Perkins and Rogue Squadron. I don't know.
Wow. Nice timing, Johnny.
Oh, Perkins.
I'm assuming Perkins and Rogue Squadron.
Maybe Mike Perkins, the artist, is going to do it.
the standalone Rosario Dawson Ahsoka show.
Yeah.
I like
timing,
Ahsoka
Johnny.
things in my prefabric softener before I put it into
Holy
rinse.
shit! Wow, Ahsoka's going to have her own show. No shit.
Yeah, we knew that.
Cool.
That was rumored already.
Yeah,
I'm assuming is that. Oh, I was wondering if that was Acolyter, but no, maybe it's just called
No, that's a different one because I'm looking at the logo right there. Ahsoka.
There you go.
Wow.
And I guess yes, as Scott says, Spock is. As Scoot says, Spock is in Star Wars now.
That's true.
Because he knows how bad Star Trek is. Can I go to a franchise where I'll be appreciated?
Exactly. Yeah.
No problem, Mr. Spock. We got your sister.
Can you change the title of the show real quick, and then we'll do the Star Wars stuff?
Yeah,
later?
exactly. That'd be cool. I'd actually
Tomorrow?
look forward to doing this every week.
All right.
Well,
you know what today is, Johnny? It's Investor Day.
Yes.
That's why all these are. It's Disney investors say, "Hey, this is why you should invest with us because we got shit coming out." That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
4:30
That was
today.
the context. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why, Dante, as opposed to them waiting for a virtual D23, it's more important to let the investors know
Damn right.
during these COVID times. Hey, don't worry, we got stuff we got stuff brewing.
Wow, that is so cool. You know what though? Honestly, why would you get Hayden Christensen to play Darth Vader? Because I don't know.
Well, because
he's going to be
Vader now?
Well, maybe now that his balls dropped and his voice changed, maybe he'll be a better.
Seriously.
Whoa!
No. Master.
Oh,
yes,
it's
Master.
Yeah, okay. Patty Jenkins, the director, is going to make Rogue Squadron. I thought you meant Perkins was coming back. I'm like, yeah, Perkins.
Well, no, I think he did mean because he said Perkins in Rogue Squadron, and then Stuart corrected himself and did write Perkins.
Oh,
stay
fat guys in space.
I'm a big fan.
Weightlessness, man.
Exactly. Out here, I weigh nothing.
We can eat as many McRibs as we want. It doesn't make a difference. My fat is floating.
I hate the McRib.
Easy now.
Easy now. We don't want to talk about that stuff again.
No. So Terra Firma Part 1 is the episode.
It was great.
Well, I will say that it was nice that we got about 60% less Burnham.
Yes.
Episode once they got to the mirror.
That were in it sucked.
Yeah.
All other things suck.
I thought she was going to cry again. I go, oh my God. I think she's going up.
She was going up.
She was on the verge of it.
Okay, so, well, first of all, yeah. Right. Well, and also, by the way, now, I do like it. At first, it grossed me out when Mira Giorgio, like, I guess, as David Cronenberg explained to us, not only is she a time traveler, but also she's a mirror universe traveler. Mm-hmm. And the combination, like, her body can't hold its cohesiveness in this world.
She's fading away like Marty McFly's brother and sister did, basically.
No, she's eating too much chocolate, so her face is breaking out.
Whoa!
Because her face literally was like breaking out. I'm like, bruh.
The distortion.
Yeah. So it's like space zits. Her face is breaking out.
Yeah. So she was phasing through. She couldn't pick up a cup yet. Her ass didn't fall through the chair.
Which, by the way, all right. So once again, I don't know what their fascination is with these cafeteria scenes, but seriously, it's like, all right, I'm telling you, I'm going to sit down next to you, and I'm just going to let you know.
It was like high school, wasn't it?
Yes, it's Degrassi.
It was like 90210 or Degrassi. Yeah.
Star Trek Degrassi.
I like when she threw the food at her, and I was waiting for, what's the captain's name? Can't think of it.
Giorgio.
Saru just yelled, food fight!
Yeah.
They were all going to start throwing food at each other.
Listen, I know that you don't like me, but I'm going to be your friend. And I see you can't grab your cup of water. So, hey, guess what? Let me spill all my food on you. Let me pull a Jake LaMotta on you.
Can I ask a question? With all these Star Trek things, Star Wars shows being announced, and there's so much good TV out there. Like I'm watching. I just finished watching Queen's Gambit. There's so much good TV out there. Why is Star Trek so bad? Why?
Because it is. Today was a torture. I fell asleep during the show today, woke up, had to rewind. By the way, don't do that because you know what you got to do? You got to watch commercials again. You can't just go back. It's like you got to watch 90 seconds of commercials.
I know.
And then I started watching it, and then I fell asleep a second time.
Wow.
And I can't believe, and I wasn't tired, but it was kind of dull in the beginning. So.
Well, all right, we'll get there because and we eventually get to the mirror universe. Did everyone catch what I believe the analogy is of this planet and the guy in the derby reading the newspaper.
The Q guy, the cheap ripoff of Q. What was that all about?
I thought it was Q. I didn't think it was Q. Maybe
Go ahead. I was like, okay, what's happening? That's why I thought I fell asleep. I go, did I miss something here? Because they went to this planet that they could only go there, and she had a 5% chance of survival. How that Admiral guy knew the odds of this, I don't know. He's like C-3PO. Like, you don't take her there, the odds of her survival is 5%.
Well, but David Cronenberg had the example of the guy that used to be in the temporal. I like the nod to the temporal wars. Yes. That was fine. But no, that guy, I think that's the Guardian of Forever in disguise or in an analogous kind of appearance. Well, they went through a portal.
Yes.
And she went back to the past.
Yeah, but the Guardian Forever didn't have a sense of humor. This guy was kind of like...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what and maybe you're right. Maybe it's a combination of a Q and the Guardian of Forever, but it sure seemed like the Guardian of Forever from, like, original series and stuff.
Was there significance that this place was located near the Gamma Quadrant? And I'm like, how are they going to get there without...
I thought that was Deep Space Nine.
That's what I thought, Deep Space Nine.
When they called the Coruscant or whatever that was.
Spore Drive. Well, Spore Drive.
Yeah, okay, but as soon as I heard that, I thought they were going back to Bajor or something. I was like, oh, maybe, but no.
Nope.
And did you guys catch that
space station
during the Giorgio thingy where they spoilers where they tried to kill her? But they put on that big show for her, and she had the big sun headdress on. What's with the Cirque du Soleil stuff?
That's what I was thinking too. When they were on the ropes.
Oh yeah, when they had the performance of like Giorgio's greatest. Yeah, I know, and also Stamets reading poetry.
Yeah,
our emperor comes out right now. Some people might call Saru a cow. It was crap. Bad writing.
All the Mirror Universe stories there's been on all the various treks. This was my least favorite one.
I would agree.
Usually when they do it, I go, oh, it's cool because you get to see our heroes acting like badasses and like, oh, this is going to be good. Like the bad Spock and the bad Kirk, except it was already a bad ass character. So then she goes to her mirror universe and she's nice. I was like, this is kind of awkward.
Again. And also, before she leaves, all right, fine. I don't mind her shaking hands with Saru, but Telly has to hug her. I've learned so much from you.
Yeah.
I learned how to perm my
what the good reaction would have been? A good writer?
Who?
She should have slapped Tilly back right across the face, like, don't show me your human weakness or something like that. She
already spilled food on her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, by the way, I don't forgive you.
Yeah.
Right across the face.
Also,
I love her.
We're supposed to, like, everyone loves this murdering person.
Empress, yeah.
It's like, they create these characters to be without any redeeming qualities, and we're supposed to feel bad for them, and we're supposed to like them.
Nope.
The only thing I liked was when she was sparring before she attacked Michael, and I liked watching her hit the heavy bag or the UFC version of the heavy bag.
Right.
And again, for 58 years old, the lady's a badass.
I like how they have deadly weapons in that gymnasium, like an axe. And I'm like, are you supposed to have this stuff here? Like, let me just use this axe.
They have that craze that's going on now, those axe bars.
Axe throwing bars.
So,
they're just mirroring the future. Society.
Yeah. Right. Oh, this is a good point from Dante, and I agree. It was cool seeing Rekha Sharma, who was Lorca's first officer before the tardigrade ate her. And it was cool seeing her in the Mirror Universe. Mm-hmm. I like that actor a lot. I agree with Dante. I was a fan of hers on Battlestar as well.
Okay, go back to how it started. Did it not seem out of character that the Admiral, whatever his name is, with the light, the teal uniform?
We're calling him Admiral the Mummy.
Admiral Mummy guy.
Yeah.
He does, what is his own mini version of a HR personality test? Like, would you go and sacrifice the needs of the many outweigh the just for her? And then Saru's like, no, we got stuff to do. And then, of course, why Michael Burnham? Michael Burnham, who's already been demoted, why she's in the room, I don't know. I'm like, she should be downstairs scrubbing toilets because of what the fuck she's been up to. But no, we have her right alongside the number one and the captain, and she's there. And then he asks her what she would do. Admiral Vance, thank you. And then she gives her answer, which we know is going to be whatever the fuck I want. And then he goes, you're right. That's what I was looking for. I go, what are you talking about? You just dressed her down a week or two ago and busted her, and suddenly it's a mind trick. I'm like, just fucking with you. I'm gonna let you go and save your buddy.
You know what my thought was right then when I was listening to you, and then Johnny was putting up the answers like Admiral Vance and stuff like that? He should really be getting some of these people that are tuning in every week to be on this show with him instead of us, because they're obviously much more prepared than we are.
I know. I had to read a review of the show before we came on tonight because I literally didn't know what was going on in some parts, and somebody else said they have to Google the characters while they watch the show because they still, after 3 years, do not know the names of the major bridge crew. And I said, oh, I thought it was just us when we go, hey, what's the one's name that has the thing over there and next to the other guy?
Eyepiece. Yeah, we've renamed them all. That's Eyepiece.
Bryce. I learned that Bryce is the Afro-American communications guy.
And Reed was challenging Dreadlock Lady for the security job in the Mirror Universe.
Yeah,
and I forgot what Dreadlock Lady's name was. They mentioned it, but I don't remember.
Dreadlock Lady. I love it.
And I want to know why the wait, we know her name. The one with the things on her head, the one with the shaved head with the implants on the side. Denver.
Detmer.
She didn't have the implants in the Mirror Universe. I was like, I don't know why, but now you're really confused.
Because the Mirror Universe was introduced before she blew up her face.
Well, okay. That's, I guess.
Does someone have any Clearasil? My face is breaking out.
And also, I know we're jumping around, but screw it. This episode sucked too.
They did too. Yeah.
Sucked really bad.
But you know how they would end a two-parter kind of like, the first episode, how they ended it kind of like in the middle of the story?
Yeah,
they did it here as well.
Yeah, I actually thought there was more. I clicked the time and it said there was 4 minutes left, and I go, what? And it said, that's it. See you next week. I go, but nothing happened. You just kind of went to a commercial break, and that's it. So, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and also, it's a weird cliffhanger. It's like, all right, like I don't care.
It wasn't a cliffhanger. There was no cliff to hang off.
No, she changed history. She
went to commercial, and
she didn't kill Michael. So I'm saying at the end of the episode, and it's part one. The title of the episode was part one, and we're staying in the Mirror Universe,
right?
Yeah. Because now she's going to have her change of heart, and she's going to, don't expect evolution as weakness.
Oh, I got to tell you,
whatever.
I couldn't understand. I actually was trying to find the
My enunciation was a little off on this episode.
I didn't think it was as bad as it's been in other episodes.
I couldn't. I'm like, what did she just say? And I really was going to put the subtitles on to read it, to go along with it, like a book on tape type of thing. Because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck she's saying.
I don't know. But I like that Paul, however you say his name, Guy Fole or whatever his name is, was the Guardian or the Q or whatever the hell he was.
What's he from, John?
Oh, God, everything.
He was the bad guy in Striptease with Demi Moore. I remember that.
And he's Wise Guy back in the day.
Okay.
He was tremendous character actor.
Wasn't he on one of those NCIS shows or wasn't he on CSI?
Yes.
CSI.
Okay, so what did Michael Burnham do when Giorgio went through the door? What's she just hanging out smoking a butt waiting for her to come back, or what is she doing?
I don't know, but Ed says that Giorgio didn't kill Michael originally. They're not following their own season 1 canon. All right, that confuses me.
I thought she did kill her.
I thought she did too.
I think we're all hoping that she did.
Well, if she had killed her, how would regular Michael been able to go to the Mirror Universe and pretend to be Mirror Michael?
And of course, she had to go. You know what? To answer Franco's question from a couple minutes ago about all the good television that's out there, and this is not good TV, I thought about it. It's no fault of the other actors that are on this show, and not to say anything against Michael Burnham's character, but if she wasn't on this show, it might not be so bad. I thought about that. I had that epiphany going. I
agree with you. It's her character. It's her character. Not writing well.
She's in every scene. She has to be the one that saves everything. We all expect it. And it leaves all the other characters with nothing to do. They've all been castrated, and they're just there. They're like, well, we're just on hand.
I think I would have expected more of the show if it was called, Star Trek Burnham instead of Star Trek Discovery.
Right.
Honestly.
Like Picard.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But even Picard has more fleshed out crew members than this show does.
That's why I kind of didn't mind this episode. I won't go as far as to say I liked it, but at least it gave a bunch of the other Mirror crewmen shit to do.
Something to do. Okay.
So I don't know.
I gotta say, I did feel for some reason I was embarrassed for the actors wearing those uniforms. Maybe because it's all high res, but when I saw Tilly, she looked like a really bad country western singer from the '80s with that thick makeup, like Tammy Faye Baker or something.
Oh,
the opera welcomes Tilly to sing for us.
And she had all the plastic little medals. I go, that outfit looks like a really bad.
I liked her in that outfit.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I was like, wow, talking about.
All right.
Her hair was all smooth and the outfit.
Yeah. She looked like Tammy.
I'm being totally serious.
She does look better with straight hair than the curly
Oh, wow. As my wife would say, you fucking fashion critics over here, Mount Olympus. Yeah. I don't like the way she looks. Let me move my girth to the side. It's sweating on my navel here.
I know.
I
don't disagree.
Just said I liked it.
No, but when we're criticizing people's looks, we should be careful.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I know how I look, which is why I criticize other people's looks.
I was gonna save this for later, but I guess it ties in a little bit, and I'm curious to see if in part 2 they play with it more. Adira missing Gray. Gray is ghosting Adira.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Now, when she went into the mirror universe, was that also 900 years into the future?
I'm confused by what you're asking.
No, when Giorgio goes into the parallel mirror universe,
right? It's in the past.
It's in the past. That's why you wouldn't see Adira because they haven't met her yet.
No. She's reliving something that happened in her past by going through that door.
Okay. Right. All right. She's not
kind of like when Picard on Next Generation, that tapestry episode, where Q sends him back when he's still a cadet.
When he gets the thing through. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. With the
you didn't sit it on the head. When Q sent him back. So I'm thinking.
No, I understand. You might be right. You could very well be right. I assume with the time travel that it's the Guardian of Forever.
Okay.
A question. I, for eons, have been waiting for a question. But you're probably right.
But you know what's funny? If the Admiral Vance knows about this planet, and they must know that portal's there, I assume. Why don't they go back there and figure out what happened to the burn?
I would think that
go back 100 years and find out.
I would think that it's different for everybody who shows up there.
Okay. Wow. I like how we have to write the story because the people that get paid to do it can't fucking do their jobs.
Wow.
Here's how it should have gone.
Let's go back to Tilly's outfit.
Boy, I'd like to. Yeah. Well, anyway, hold on one second. All right, here we go. In season 1, Mira Burnham was ordered to hunt down Lorca and her shuttlecraft destroyed, leaving her presumed dead and Lorca on the run, never killed by. You're right.
Oh,
that's right.
Presumed dead. Oh, so then
so maybe they did rewrite this. That gets me angrier.
Oh, you don't like him when he's angry.
Well, didn't she? Maybe she changed the, or it's all in her head, so this doesn't have to follow the continuity.
God, that'd be awesome if it was Wesley grown up.
Wouldn't it be?
That would make me laugh very hard, actually.
Dude, her makeup was on so thick. I was like, wow, what's up?
There's a show called Disco Nights, and it's made by the same people that make Inglorious Trexperts, but it's a very positive, we love Star Trek Discovery show that Chase Masterson hosts.
Okay.
And she has a co-host that's from Den of Geek, and I forget his name. But they had a guest on who was not a non-binary fan. And I found it very, very interesting that she was talking about they did question why it didn't, when they went to the Trill planet, why they didn't have information when Riker briefly hosted a Trill symbiote. And they wanted to try and figure it out from a canon standpoint. And they're like, well, it was so fast. Maybe it, didn't get back to the Trill homeworld, which I found BS. But then it was interesting hearing the trans character, or not, she wasn't a trans character person. She's a non-binary person. And the non-binary person, who I will now refer to as they were complaining about the Next Generation episode, The Host, because, as you remember, Crusher loved Odan, who was the Trill that had the symbiote. He gets injured. The symbiote Odan is put into Riker temporarily so he can do the negotiations that were necessary, Ambassador Odan. Yep. And she was really conflicted because she loved Odan, but he's in Riker. What do I do with that? And so that was really her big conflict. And finally, at the end of her Act 2, she breaks down and is like, he's like, if you're going to turn me away, I better leave now. She's like, I'm not going to turn you away. And all of a sudden they're embracing and kissing and everything. Yeah. So she's like, okay, it's O'Don. I can deal with this. And then he finishes the negotiations. Riker is at the brink of death. They have to take O'Don out of Riker, wait for a Trill host. The next Trill host comes. It's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And this now new joined Trill is like, Dr. Beverly, it's still me. And at first she says, I can't keep up with all these changes. How long do I know that you will be the host?
Mm-hmm.
When will the next body happen? And then she says, I guess something to the effect of not just her, but that collectively, maybe we're going to have to like become better people and learn. And this non-binary person is like, that just crushed me, that she wasn't accepting of the Trill now in a female host. And again, I'm a cisgender, white, straight male guy, and maybe I don't understand. But until that person said that, I always assumed it was just Beverly saying, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't think it was humans can't deal with this.
No, I thought it was just her personal character. She said, look, I can't have a relationship with another woman. I don't.
Right. And I don't think that makes them transphobic or non-binary phobic or anything. It's one person.
Yeah.
And it just seems to me that, and she's like, maybe they were, hold on. The point is, I guess their theory was and the group actually subscribed to this, that they're like, that's one of those unfortunate Next Generation episodes that kind of, I guess, like the other episode where there was the single gender race that Riker fell in love with the person. And I'm like, I don't see that as unfortunate. And again, I really think it's an individual by individual basis. If they're offended, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But if truly that is the collective concern that we need to rewrite and ignore certain episodes because of that, it's like, man, you are trying way too effing hard.
It would be
really, and again, forgive me for taking 5 minutes to explain all this crap, but it just really sat with me in a very disappointing way.
Yeah.
Of God, I hope they're wrong. The collective that took it that way. And I'm like, I really just think it was Dr. Crusher saying, I can't deal with, a symbiote that's going to jump from body to body.
Yeah.
I don't know. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I agree with you.
I agree with you. I would assume it's like, I don't like blondes. It doesn't mean I don't have relationships with other people.
Well,
but
obviously, but that's a little, that's a little bigger leap than.
I'm just saying when they wrote this episode in 1992,
80 whatever, or 90 whatever,
maybe in the 80s, I think, 87, 89, 90.
It was either season 4 or season.
Yeah, and they're doing a conclusion. They're doing a conclusion to the episode. They got to wrap it up in a minute or two, and that's it. And they go, okay. For some reason, it's not that she's against same-sex couples or binary, whatever. She's just like, I'm just not. I'm attracted to that person. That's the way I always looked at it. Like it was a physical thing. She's like, I'm just not. Well, I'm surprised she got on with Riker because she's thinking, oh, that's the guy I work with, but not really. It's the guy that's inside of him. But even that was a little awkward too.
That's what I mean. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think it made sense for the story. I think it made sense for an individual, to have these feelings. Correct. And again, I just think, well, they didn't know how to handle that kind of stuff back then, so that's how they run it. It's like, no, I don't buy that either. No, it gets me angry, and I don't mean for it to offend people with my anger, but it's like I don't think they were doing the geometric math that you conclude to be, well, then you're against me, and it's like.
Well, here's another example too. Curzon Dax was the old man, as Cisco referred to him, because he was an older gentleman. Right. Like Cisco knew him, even though the symbiote is kind of gender neutral to begin with, because it's like a little worm that lives in these people. They don't know what it is. And then it became Jadzia Dax, but he would still refer to as the old man. It wasn't like an ageism thing, was it? Because he was referring to this young woman as an old man. Oh my God, I'm offended by that because I'm an old man now.
But wait a minute. Now I think I'm offended.
No, but I just think some of this stuff, well, looking at the eyes of today, referring back to something that was written 30 years ago, sometimes it just doesn't pan out to what your current perceptions are. And it's not malicious and it wasn't done.
But that can work in the reverse as well. Because like all of Star Trek Discovery doesn't pan out with any of Star Trek previous to this.
But Star Trek is the most liberal show in the history of television. I believe.
Agreed.
With all the different variations and iterations from the 60s to now, I can't ever point to one Star Trek episode and say, "Oh, look at that. It's a disgrace. I can't ever look at that again." Because I've learned something from every single, maybe not so much Lower Decks or Discovery, but prior Star Trek was always thought-provoking, well-written, insightful, and showed you a different part of the universe. It's the whole IDIC thing, internet, just, So maybe it is good, and I don't know who this person is you're speaking about. I don't know who they are, but it might just be their perception, and doesn't mean you condemn everything for that.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I am not negating her personally being offended by the observations of Beverly Crusher, but I do.
But the response you said, where they said that unfortunately is one of those episodes we have to look the other way on, that was kind of like, wait.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry, I don't buy that. I think it is an individual choice. I do think that, and again, to take it to where Discovery currently is 1,000 years ahead of where they were in the 23rd century. I don't believe that Adira's declaration that they are non-binary and would like to be referred to as they. Again, I think that was fan service. We were talking about fan service with Negan the other night on the Oh Yeah podcast. But I think that was fan service of, hey, viewers, this is what we're doing. And that's fine. But I really think it was a wasted 90 seconds of, oh, is that okay? And it's like, of course it's okay. It's the 31st century.
Right.
They had multiple alien. I just don't buy that. Again, I don't think it would be that much of a shit moment of, I hope I'm not offending you. And it's like, we're in a galaxy where Vulcans are fucking Andorians. And
it's along the lines of species. It's along the lines of Star Trek viewers are smarter than that, and they're beating them over the head with some of this stuff. And I don't get it. I don't understand the thought process.
I agree with Dante, who generally feels Disco is just Star Trek retcon, where we want to fit it into our story. Yes.
Or it's for Star Trek, for people who've never watched Star Trek before.
That's kind of think of it. That if that is, and I believe that to be the intent, and I understand that, and I respect that in terms of what their thought process is, but I just think they're trying too hard. And again, feeling that they have to erase and take things away from what Star Trek was to reinterpret it in today's standards.
Well, they want to be cutting edge, John. They don't want to rehash old stuff,
Yeah,
but again,
there's a lot of new stuff out there that they can do. They're just, I don't think they're just.
Well, that's it. And yeah, Mitch, no, you can still be cutting edge, but color within the lines and not just declare, well, that was a much less enlightened time.
Yeah.
And therefore we need to rewrite. And it's like, I don't buy that. And again, as you pointed out with IDIC, that's what they meant. And there is a way to honor IDIC and what Roddenberry set up without saying, well, the guy was screwing everything left and right, and he had a casting couch, and he's X, Y, and Z, and it's like, yes, that's true. But he also
this,
in the 1960s was forward thinking enough to say, we're gonna have an Asian guy on the bridge, we're gonna have a black woman on the bridge, a Russian at the height of the Cold War.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, come on, man. I don't know.
Infinite diversity and infinite combinations. That's what it was.
Yeah, it
took me a second. Yeah.
Yep.
No, Trek doesn't violate. In my opinion, again, my personal opinion, I'm speaking for the world, but I think Trek is very open and always understanding of everybody and never has gone out of their way to done something. But there's been somebody's
read if you're going to read.
Okay, I'm
reading out loud for the audio.
Put it up there. I stopped. But Mitch, there's been so many different Trek products over 50 years plus. Roddenberry's I still hold. Yes, I think so. They still hold up.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think you go back and I watched those shows from the 60s. I was watching a Next Generation episode the other day with Ensign Rowe and Geordi when they phased.
I love that episode.
Yeah, it's a great episode, and I'm like, oh, it held up. And the other day I was watching an original series one with the lava monster that's cutting through rock and killing
the Horde.
Like that. Yeah, they still hold up.
Yeah.
They hold up well. I'm hard pressed to go back and watch any Discovery episode or Lower Decks episode. For that matter, it just they're
because you don't learn anything from these new shows. You're not. What about
you? Don't necessarily learn anything from the every episode of the originals or Next Generation either. But they were just good TV,
right? But
I think you did actually.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. In 3 years, have you come across one fresh, original way of thinking that you derived from a Star Trek Discovery? No, I barely can get through the episode, let alone sit there and think about it. Go, hey, that's a different way of looking at the world. I never would have thought about that.
The only episode of Discovery that I have watched more than once and still mostly enjoy it is the episode from season 2 where they go back to Talos 4.
That's the one I watched 2 weeks ago when we were home. Yeah. Just because I know that stuff and I want to see what happened after. Yeah.
Exactly. And really, like, it's all the Pike and Venus stuff.
Yes.
Right. It's this tragic, like, love affair that, like, you get the middle part of the story before Menagerie, which is funny when Pike goes back.
Before that, you only saw Captain Pike in one show, and you want to know more about that character based on a guy who was in a wheelchair that was beep, beep, and it was a pilot that didn't work because it was written well enough that you were like, oh, wow, that's cool. They're alive in their minds, but in their physical form, they're all decrepit and falling apart, but it's an illusion. And that was always cool about that episode,
No, I agree. I like the Cage a lot more than, a lot of Star Trek fans really crap on Jeffrey Hunter. Oh. And I'm like, and they're like, because he was so wooden in that. And I'm like, yeah, because he's burnt out. I'm like, no, you're not listening to the dialogue. What's that?
That's why the pilot didn't work with the studio, and they replaced
his character was written from the opening scene when he's in his quarters and the doctor brings him a drink because he's burned out. He's like, hey, man, I've been from one side of this galaxy.
Right, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Right,
absolutely.
Right.
And
his acting was a little stiff too.
Well, and that's maybe why, to start with that story, and that he was so negative throughout, that maybe that is the reason why the network's like, too much of a downer or whatever. Well, but I thought it was great. And
then again, what does he have to go off of? There's not any science fiction shows. He's got Westerns, so he's probably thinking I got to play it like the straight Marshall Dillon in space. So,
well, that was the thought.
But the man was Jesus Christ, for crying out loud.
For Christ's sakes, he was Jesus. Yeah, what I had heard was his wife was his agent, and she was doing a lot of behind the scenes, like diva stuff, like, oh, Jeffrey needs this, and don't look at Jeffrey in the eye, and don't talk to Jeffrey too loud. And that's what they said. Get this guy the hell out of here. Get that Canadian guy in here with the bad hairpiece.
I'd be happy to do it. Yeah. I just played next to Spencer Tracy in Judgment in Nuremberg. I don't know.
Did the check cash? Yes. Then I'll be there tomorrow. That's what happened.
Let me ask one thing. Did the check clear?
Yeah.
Then I'm in.
Oh, these parts here for who's this solo guy? Sulu. Yeah. Get that name out of there. Give me those lines. I'll take those lines.
If you want to put astrophysicists, it's like depositing a penny every day in a month and doubling it every day. In a month, you'll be a millionaire.
You learned that from Star Trek.
It's true.
That they're still talking about now with the COVID thing. If one guy gets infected by a day, but I'm like, I learned that from Mr. Sulu.
It's true.
Back to the show already in progress that I fell asleep twice during today. I told you I was so excited when they went to the parallel universe, but how they got there made me like wonder what was happening. So there was a question there. And then did you notice how they try to sneak a B story in about the burn and like, oh, look, I discovered something coming from this nebula. Pick an episode. What are we doing here?
I assume it's going to be developed more in part 2.
Well, yeah.
But I have a feeling that by the end of part 2, Giorgio will be back in the 23rd century because, she's still going to be in that Section 31 show. So how is she in the
definitely
future?
Happening, though?
This is what I'm hearing. I don't know. I really don't know.
She's still billed every week on the opening credits as special guest or
she's here.
Star.
She's here for
so Ed is reaching the same conclusion I am, that he is a guardian of forever. Yes, that's my feeling, Ed. A question.
He's probably the captain of the Guardians of the Forever because he was captain in CSI and all the other shows he shows up in.
Yeah.
Michael Burnham technically created the Guardian Forever. Little known fact that they don't know.
Space Jesus.
She had an afternoon off. So
don't leave it like a door. It needs to be like more of a big round thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me read a newspaper.
That has your email when you emailed me, little known fact,
I did. Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And then Michael Burnham created Christmas.
Yeah, she created Christ. She had an afternoon off.
Space Jesus, yeah, man.
Space Jesus. She started crying almost when they had the big fight over on the other
the gym or in the buffeteria. I forget which.
No, when she welled up at one point, and I was like, "Oh no, she's gonna cry."
At Montgomery, did you guys have Montgomery Wards on the East Coast?
Like Sears Roebuck,
yeah. I worked at Montgomery Ward for a couple of years, and they had a restaurant that was called the Buffeteria, and I'm like, that's the most disgusting name.
Like Jimmy Buffett's.
So I want to call Discovery's cafeteria now the Buffeteria.
You still never answered my question from last week. That I'm still bothered.
Talk to me.
Vulcan is called Navarre now. Does that mean they're all called Navarians instead of Vulcans? Because it doesn't.
They should, but again.
They don't get along.
Well, and also, yes, there's that, and also it would have all these viewers going, "What?
Who the hell are
the Vulcans and the Romulans?" Oh, okay.
Actually, it was named after Michael Caine's dialogue. It was never.
No, I don't bloody like it.
Never.
Would you just call them Vulcans and Romulans?
I'm having Perna Blanca. What's it called?
Did you ever give up on the Alfred? Never.
Perna Blanca.
Never.
That's a digestif as opposed to an aperitif.
So why didn't this episode work? Let's take it apart. Let's reverse it. Let's do it.
Where do we begin?
No, honestly, the premise is like they're gonna go find out what's wrong with Giorgio.
They're gonna fix Giorgio by going down to this
Giorgio, and then we're
taking a puppy to the vet. Let's fix her.
As soon as Admiral Vance said why, I could tell you why she was on the bridge with them or wherever the hell they were in the ready room. Why?
Cafeteria.
Yeah, cafeteria.
The Buffeteria.
Yeah. And then how about Saru? So what is Saru and the other one planning? A rebellion or something? When they had that little fight there in the cafeteria? Well, you lazy oaf or whatever. Remember she fell down and he went over and whispered something in her ear?
Oh, in the Mirror Universe?
In the Mirror Universe, yeah. What was that all like? Don't do it. Take her to the agonizer.
Yeah, well, I guess is what we'll find out in part 2 is what is her plan?
Yeah.
If she's changed history. But Ed is right. She was on a ship that was presumed dead, and that's why Burnham was able to slip in and go, no, I didn't die in that explosion. So I don't know.
But also, what really bothers me is why did they end where they ended? Like usually in a two-parter, isn't a cliffhanger a little bit more like cliffhangery?
Like right. Fire, doom. Oh,
I think they've gone where they're trying to make everything like each episode stand alone this season. That they've gone too far in a two-parter. They're like, we did the same thing again.
For a show that's on like a pay service that there's really no limitations on how long an episode could be, why couldn't they just make a 2-hour special on this or whatever?
Because we're suckers. They got us all.
That's why we got to pay for it next week. Yeah,
we're all hooked.
You're right.
I'm gonna watch it.
All right. So then, other than Tilly's outfit,
I'm gonna watch it.
Man, it sucked. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Start on a test pattern. I'll watch it,
dude. As I say, every few months, Star Trek Klingon Klingon latrine cleaning. When's it on? I will be there. I will sit through this shit.
I think it's also my phobia from younger when we had none of this stuff on TV and when there was a bad sort of superhero show or something, we'd still watch it, even though it sucked. We're still gonna watch it. And dude, I still have that phobia. I'm still gonna watch it.
I watched the Return of the Incredible Hulk last night with Bill Bixby when he met Thor because I haven't seen it in like 50 years. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's so bad it's not funny. But I watched it and I go, yeah, I guess this was okay back in 1986 or whatever because it was the Hulk and Thor, and that's all we had. So.
Do they have the other Hulk TV movies?
The Daredevil one with
Rex Reed,
Rex Smith, John Rhys Davies as the Kingpin, but he wouldn't shave his head.
Yes,
that's on there, and I haven't found the Death of the Hulk yet
because that's the one I want to see again.
The Death.
Oh, I mean, it's a terrible movie, but you got to give him the credit for the last minutes when he's falling from the plane.
Yeah,
yes, that line.
Free.
Exactly. Bruce, David, I'm so sorry. It's like, you don't get it. I'm free. And he dies. And then they play the Lonely Man music. And you're like, oh, my God, he's okay now. He's dead, but he's happy.
He's upstairs working on some top secret, like, gamma thing or whatever. And the guy that's Don Blake wants to see him. So he's outside the laboratory with a grappling hook. Instead of just using the elevator, he throws the grappling hook up there and manages to land right in the balcony of the lab that happens to have David Banner, and scales up there. And why? And I'm like watching this going, when they were writing this, how much cocaine were they on? Because it is so fucking stupid to see it now.
I just feel bad for Bill Bixby. I don't know what jobs he wasn't getting, but it's like, yeah, all right.
Yep. I'll do this. He was like, did the check clear? All right, let's go.
Yeah. Shatner can't do it. I'll do it. It was really bad. And Ferrigno, with that fright wig.
Which they only got goofier as he got older. You're right. Oh, man. No, that was really bad.
That's why we watched Star Trek Discovery, because we had to live through that stuff, and we remember how bad it was.
We have a high level.
Liked it.
We had a high level of tolerance for bad things.
We walked through the snow and it was cold and we liked it.
Have I shown? I'll grab it because it's just a few feet away. The Alex Ross painting.
Of what?
I'll show you in a second. Of
yeah.
I showed it the other night on Yeah. I gotta reach for it.
I just ordered his book for Christmas for myself. His unseen artwork of Alex Ross.
Right. That's where it's in.
So if Sal's watching, I just paid you $40. Enjoy that coffee.
Stand by. All right. Gotta find the page. So many great things in this book.
Is it?
And of course, Word Balloon lately has been sponsored by Alex Ross.
I saw that before the show started tonight.
That's exactly right. That's why we're doing it. Here it is. All right, I better solo. I will solo myself so you guys can see it.
You go blind.
It's amazing. Can you make that out?
Yeah, there's the Star Trek versus Star Wars. There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, does this mean we're going to talk about Star Wars again?
Hold on a second.
Exactly.
Is this the cover of that book, John?
Hold on.
The cover is the Flash.
Yeah,
Gordon.
That's right. Yep.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, because I had a bunch of these autographed by Sam Jones.
Awesome.
That I'm selling on eBay. And
cool.
I just bought one today, and I saw your cover. I'm like, wait, I think that's the same thing that's right here.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yep.
Look at that.
Very true.
All right. So what about Star Wars now?
Hold on. Let's see here. As Dante says, that was when we weren't getting anything better. I'd rather rewatch Battlestar Galactica. Said this Trek. Hey, their original Galactica.
Yeah.
You got the Lloyd Bridges 2-parter, which is a good episode. Good story. You got the one where Galactica's on fire. I think that was a pretty good episode.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the very last episode of the series where they decide they're going to infiltrate and blow up a base star, and they're getting those weird transmissions, and they don't know what it is. And Apollo's, or they and it's the
moon landing.
Yeah, it's the Eagle landing on the moon.
That's how it ended. I was like, oh no, and they never came back.
Yeah.
But again, we didn't have anything back then. So, like, I would watch Buck Rogers, where they had Frank Gorshin as a special guest, and then
I just saw that
they're trying to break into a bank, and the bank is obviously a parking garage in downtown LA Century City. I bought the whole series and the first 2 Hulk TV movies to rewatch when COVID started. Man, it was craptastic. It made me remember being 5 and watching the Hulk reruns on Whoopix. 3 p.m. in the early 80s. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. The Hulk had an episode that is very similar to the Saw movies, and it was a combination of that great short story, The Most Dangerous Game, where the big game hunter is hunting men, and Saw. And he is going to hunt David as a human being, big game hunter, and he sees him change. And he's like, David, I had no idea. This is amazing.
Oh, yes.
Because he's going to hunt. That. Yes. And it has, and he would leave cassettes of, David, you got to get out of this trap. And that's how you survive or whatever, that kind of thing. And the best is, so he beats the guy, and there's a boat waiting. And he's like, David, if you do this, there's a boat waiting at the pier, and you'll be able to row to the main shipping lines, and you'll be fine.
Right.
And as he plays the cassette as he's leaving and rowing away, and he's about like 20 yards away from the pier, and the tape machine explodes and the pier explodes. So he just missed the last little death trap, and that's how the episode ends. Spoiler. And that to me is one of the best Hulk episodes.
No, you know what was a good one? Remember the thing called The First?
Yes.
They had Dick Durock as the first Hulk. It was like the proto Hulk.
Yep.
They had a big fight at the end.
Sure.
And then there was the fifth season. They had footage from a movie called Prometheus. I'm going to say it was like a red space capsule. It was a really cool set. Like they had spent money on another movie, but they cut it up and they worked the Hulk into it. And it was a 2-parter where David Banner was stuck, I think, in between transformations.
Yes.
Or something like that.
I always make fun of it. Yeah, something's wrong. I don't know why.
Never like this. Oh, that was a cool one.
That's a good one. But there's a blind woman as the co-star in that one. And she is just like on shrill, like high, like, oh my God, what's happening? And it's like,
slow down.
Just relax. Take it down 5 knocks there, 5 octaves. The hell are you doing?
And every week you had to have the same initials: DB, David Baxter, David Bruce, David this.
Well, he would forget his initials, so that's.
I know. It's like, well, he had that knapsack, DB. Oh, what's your name? David
Brown.
Bernthal.
Yeah, exactly.
L'Chaim.
David Birnbaum. Good stuff, man.
So it's amazing. We're talking about crappy Hulk shows instead of disco, which is nuts.
Well, again, why not? Yes. So Warren.
Trek Watch.
We're just very excited to hear about Prometheus. Yes, indeed.
It was great. Trek Watch. Well, the rest of the title of the show is Trek Watch Anything Else But This.
Anything. Yeah, we like everything except Star Trek Discovery.
Was there anything really that you learned tonight from any of the other characters?
Yeah, Tilly. And that
Tilly was straight hair in that tight outfit. Boy, I'd like to.
She's got a Vegas act starting next week once the COVID's over.
Is that true?
No, but she should be with that outfit. Like, I'm a rhinestone cowgirl.
Dun, dun. Oh, there's Dante's got all the David last names. That's true. David Banyan. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
David Banyan, David Baxter, David Brown. Yes, that was a better written show.
It was a better written show. And they had a less budget, too. They didn't have any money for effects. It was just, him in a knapsack.
Oh, that's hilarious. That would have been a great crossover. David Banner undercover running into Steve Austin undercover, and they run into Luke and the Wolf.
Luke I love Luke and the Wolf Boy. I didn't think anybody watched that show but me.
Do you remember the Fox show? Wasn't it called just Wolf or whatever?
Yeah, with Chuck Connors. That's
Chuck Connors is the
werewolf. We talked about this before, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming out on DVD finally.
That's werewolf. Right. I remember reading that, yes. Where was it called Werewolf?
Yeah, and his name was Janos Skorzeny, which was the name of the vampire from The Night Stalker. That was the name of it.
He was a basketball player, Chuck Connors.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And a baseball
player.
He wasn't Chuck Cunningham, who was on Happy Days.
No.
Let's all tie this together.
Yeah,
we lost Squiggy this week, dude.
David Lander, great comedian, great actor, truly. And I am not being hyperbolic saying that because not only as Squiggy, but also prior to that, he was in the Credibility Gap, which was one of the great comedy sketch groups of the late 60s, early 70s. He and
Michael McKean.
Michael McKean, thank you. They were both in Credibility.
Was that on TV or is that like a Chicago?
They would do variety shows things, but mostly they made comedy albums, and they were a lot of their sketches were just audio sketches.
Really?
Yeah, they were great.
Never heard of that. What's it called again?
The Credibility Gap.
Credibility Gap.
And I want to say Harry Shearer was also a member of Credibility Gap. Pretty sure.
Were they all Canadian or something? Or is that
No, they were West Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm thinking of
Potential love interest for Saru.
Yeah, Giorgio. Yeah.
Oh no, they did.
No,
they show
projection.
They showed his.
Yeah, but that was a recording from 100 years ago.
100 years ago. Yeah. Well,
yeah, he got
all excited. You never know. He'll probably run into people.
Yeah, but he's going to love Giorgio, who wants to eat him up.
All that significance they learned last week with the Vulcans is kind of like nothing.
Yeah. unless it comes back in the conclusion, yeah.
So impactful that they don't even talk about it the next week.
It's the burn.
I'm getting tired of them calling it that too, because it's going to be connected to her somehow.
Yeah, she burns a ham. She burns a ham in the disco buffeteria, and that sets off the whole chain reaction.
The buffeteria. I did get an email the other day, and I meant to write it about.
Was it a cease and desist?
About stop making fun of our show.
No, a listener, and wanted to talk Discovery. Where the hell is it? I'll find it. Talk amongst yourselves.
Was it ticking when you got the package? Was there any anthrax?
It is. From Ed Walsh, who I believe is one of our regulars and everything. No, actually, it is a different Ed. Excuse me, Ed. Hey, John, I can never catch your Star Trek reviews live. They usually happen before I get a chance to watch the episode. So I thought I'd drop you a line to address some things I would bring up in the chat if I were watching live. Not to nitpick, but I think you guys are under the impression that there is no dilithium left in the universe after the burn. I understood it to be that while a vast majority was lost, there is still some left. It's extremely rare. Since it's so scarce, warp travel is reserved only when it's absolutely needed. Yeah, no, we knew that.
Well, that's why it's so valuable and everybody wants it.
Yeah.
Right. And we saw that there are examples of dilithium that they've shown in
We got it. We know.
It's like Mad Max. It's like, they worship gasoline or something.
In the first episode of season 3, they didn't go to the trading post to get dilithium for Book's ship. Didn't they go? Yeah, we know. And later, after Burnham is reunited with Discovery, she gives them some dilithium. Yeah, we know. This explains how in a later episode, she's able to use Book's ship to rescue Book by traveling to the camp he's at warp speed. Yeah. Another thing you mentioned again recently was the background actor in the wheelchair, and why wouldn't he have been cured by 23rd century medicine? Two things pop in my head when you bring this up that could explain it. First is that episode of Next Generation, Ethics, where Worf suffers a traumatic injury that leaves him paralyzed in a way that even 24th century medicine doesn't have a solution, at least until the end of the episode. The second is Wrath of Khan, where McCoy gives Kirk reading glasses because he's allergic to the treatment normally prescribed to correct his vision. My point here is that maybe in the future, not everything can be fixed easily for everyone, and a little fan service seems to seem more inclusive never hurt anyone.
No, we weren't talking about. I'm sorry, but to interrupt you, we weren't talking about that, or at least I wasn't taking it that way. No, the guy in the wheelchair, not so much that he was cured, or why didn't they cure him? It's why didn't he have better equipment? Because no, I'm serious. Because Pike had that hover chair type thing, and this guy is in a 20th century wheelchair.
Yes,
which is fine, I guess, but. Yeah. It's not an episode of Buck Rogers where they're trying to break into a high-tech space vault and it's a parking garage type thing.
I would also say regarding the Worf episode that it was an accident that happened on mission. Now, maybe that's the case with this crew member that was in the background in the wheelchair as well. Again, I think if you have to explain it beyond what we see, I think you fail.
I know the answer.
Go for it.
It was in the script.
Yeah, bad writing.
Yeah,
bad writing.
No, but I mean, I have no problem with all inclusivity. What I had a problem with was we're talking about so many years in the future, and they have all of this technology, and
it would be like somebody using one of those horns that couldn't hear, like they had like 100 years ago, instead of like a hearing implant or something like.
Yeah, and I still have. And I still have issues where and Johnny brought this up on another episode when they're talking about. They're like, back in the 20th century, custard and, the example of music, like, Dolly Parton type thing, like those things like make me cringe a little bit, but I get those and I let those go a little bit more because I'm like, all right, we have to connect it to something we know. I don't believe the wheelchair thing is something that we know connecting it there. If you had something high tech, we would have figured out that, but anyway,
is it possible he was a relative of somebody on the crew and wanted to be in the show and they just put him on?
Sure.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. What I'm just saying is all
right, if that were the case, couldn't they have him just sitting at a station?
Maybe
like flipping switches and stuff?
No, but that's not the point. They wanted to show somebody handicapped. That's great. Right. I'm all for that. What my problem with it is he's actually sitting there going like this with a wheelchair,
right?
Where when you're in the future and they haven't developed anything, that
or it could have been a motorized wheelchair,
right? Like Professor X had
that we have now in we had in the 20th century, now in the 21st century. So one more point. Ed had. Hold on. One more point Ed had. One last thing for you guys to ponder. When Burnham acts illogically, over-emotionally, or downright insubordinate, could it be because she was a human that was raised in a Vulcan manner that maybe now as an adult, she can't handle her own emotions properly? Over the course of the series, she's acted less like a Vulcan and gotten more reckless. This being a consequence of her upbringing could explain it a lot better regarding her behavior. And says, thanks for all the work. So
I would say that I would agree with you on that point if it was a story element. They make no mention of this whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
They don't bring it up at all, and it's just like for all these people seeing all these things in other people, maybe they love Michael Burnham so much they don't bring any of this up. But that's just bullshit.
She has spontaneous reactions to things that no Vulcan in their, even if they were in Ponfar, would be as screwed up as the things that she does. The rash judgments, to jump to the conclusions. That's not logic. That's not Vulcan. That's not analyzing things.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Rash judgment. And she didn't just get that way because she was with humans for a couple years after being out of the Vulcan Academy since she was like a teenager. It's just bad writing. It's a bad character.
Giorgio is a homicidal maniac who they deal with for a couple of different seasons, and then all of a sudden she starts to act a little quirky, like she stares off into space for 2 seconds, and they're like, "There's something wrong with you. What's wrong with you? There's something wrong with you. We need to fix
crew that gets to walk around freely." I'm like, that would be like having Jeffrey Dahmer as part of your office.
That's not even my point.
It's okay. Let him go out.
My point is that she's a homicidal maniac. They've made her part of the crew, but the minute she stares off into space for 2 seconds, they know something's wrong with her.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're telling me that they didn't pick this up in Burnham, that she's got this, she's being illogical. No, I don't buy it. Bullshit.
And all the interplay between Mira Giorgio and Burnham. You're not my daughter. You're not my mother. All this BS that they were saying both on the ship and on the planet. It's like, we don't care. You both suck. And again, that's truly, man, you want to, again, it's so funny. And again, not to make this political, but we certainly have our alternate realities regarding the political spectrum these days. Mm-hmm. Listen to this Disco Nights and truly just the adoration for this show, and from Chase Masterson to all the co-hosts. Yeah. I just love it. It's so great. It's so great. And it's like, I don't know what the fuck you're watching.
All I know is I told you it was the lowest interest I've ever had in a parallel mirror universe story from Star Trek, which is surprising because those are usually my favorites.
Yeah.
And I was watching it towards the end before the cliffhanger that I didn't know was a cliffhanger, which is why I stopped. I go, wow, it's been an hour. This is going to wrap up. And then it did. And I'm like, okay, nothing happened. I sat there and said, why don't I like this show? Because I really didn't care. And I don't want to just say it like a jerk, like, I don't care. I don't care. I really am genuinely unaffected by the show every week. I like Star Trek. I've watched every iteration since I was a kid. I've watched it multiple times. If it wasn't for this thing that we do every week, Johnny, I would watch this shit. I really would. I would watch it maybe like months from now when I was bored and there was nothing on, and I'd kind of catch up here and there. Watching this every week religiously is like a freaking weight training program. You should be like,
I'll tell you what,
instructor, because it is really lame. It's a bad show.
See this season to the end. If you don't want to be on the next one, it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're watching it.
We're riding this center of the
All right, there you go. All right, fine. You sit, then you're stuck.
We're going to milk it.
I do have a confession. After watching this, I'm like, why this episode would have been so much better if they left Giorgio and Burnham on that planet and just left, and then we follow Discovery going off wherever they're going.
You know, it's bad when I'm watching the snow and thinking, how did they film that? Did they go in there and drop them off, or did they just digitally go and take the footprints for the other people out there in the snow? And why did they go into this? And I'm just going, why didn't they just beam closer to where they had to go instead of walking miles through that cold snow? I mean, they got that little instant beaming thing. Why can't you just beam right next to where you have to be instead of wandering around in the fucking cold? Because nobody likes to walk in the snow. Trust me, it snows here. You don't like walking in snow.
I understand.
But it didn't look pretty, though. It was like their Christmas card, like the Discovery. They got Saru down there, and they all posed in the snow, and they sent it out to everybody.
Thanks for coming to our disco talk.
Anyway, what do you think?
Last week? You eat your vegetables before you eat your dessert, which is the Mandalorian.
What do you think about Boba Fett coming back last week? That was awesome.
I liked it.
Yeah.
There's not been a bad episode of Mandalorian. Baltazar on said it might be the best show ever. And Negan is like, no, it's not the best show. It's There's been 14 episodes, and they haven't shown a bad, or however many there've been, and there hasn't been a bad episode yet.
He likes this show better than the other one.
I know. That's what it tells you about Negan. He's sniffing markers, man. Let me just tell you about the Mandalorian, why it's so good. You know how they say there's fan service and Trek does fan service? Mandalorian is fan service done right.
Exactly.
They do it with respect.
Our exact conversation.
Oh, okay. But I'm saying,
and further,
Star Trek, they just check it off on a checklist. We've said this before, like, hey, we got to have 4 or 5 references.
Look, Vulcans.
Boom, 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 boom. We got them. We got the old folks. They'll be happy. Now shut up, Boomer, and go watch your show. Well, meanwhile, Star Wars, I'm literally, I said last week, like a little kid, I wake up Friday mornings, get a bowl of cereal, and sit in front of that freaking TV at 6 o'clock, eating it like I'm 7 years old, watching Saturday morning cartoons. And when it's over, I go, ooh, maybe I'll watch it again because it was so good.
There's never a wasted scene.
Nope.
Every scene counts. The fan service, as you say, honors the people like us that know all the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
But as Franco pointed out, and then we said this to Negan, it's like you could drop somebody in and have them watch Mandalorian, and it's just an entertaining action show. I didn't know. Listen, I never watched Rebels. I only saw a handful of Clone War episodes. I don't know what the Dark Saber is. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But when you showed up, you kind of like pooped your pants a little.
Well, I'm just like, that's cool,
know.
whatever it represents. And then I've got my friends going, well, it's the Darth Saber, and this means, and I'm like, okay, cool. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, you know, someone like my wife who does not watch any of this stuff has only watched the Star Wars movies. If she jumps in, she's going to follow what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't care if it's Lone Wolf and Cub, like everybody's saying.
It's good.
If you never watched Lone Wolf and Cub, you don't know. It's like an old joke. If you never heard it before, it's a new joke to you. So
Mike was complaining that he didn't like and felt it got tiresome that every episode is you got to meet this person, okay, and then this person gives you information, then I get it, then you got to meet the next person, and I'm like. And he's like, that's a flaw. And I'm like, no, that's a story choice. And it's fine. And it connects the episodes. I have no problem with that.
It's called The Hero's Journey. You might have heard about it in mythology.
I literally said the same thing.
You go along the quest and you meet the little bunny down the road. It's
not about the destination. It's all about the journey. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. I'm telling you, Negan, magic markers. Right up.
Exactly. Quit snorting markers.
Remember that episode of the Encounter at Farpoint when those guys were with the machine guns in their hands and they were on the drugs? And they would get killed and they had like little drugs in their nose, and the guy's like, before you shoot me, hey, and I love that guy. I always liked that guy. He was one of my favorite characters. The stone soldier who took a hit just before he got machine gunned to death.
That's hilarious.
Way to go. So how many more episodes of this delightful show are there, Johnny?
I like that we have a countdown every
I know, I'm watching it today going, how many more?
It's either 12 or 13 total.
Meanwhile, I'm crying that The Mandalorian only has 2 episodes left. I'm like, no, there's only 2 Mandos.
What are we going to talk about in 2 weeks on this show?
I think there's 3 or 4 left, unfortunately. It will take us through the holiday season. That is our lump of coal in our stocking, Star Trek Discovery. And literally on Christmas Eve, if they're not going to take a break for Christmas Eve, right? Because isn't Christmas on
Christmas Eve's on Thursday. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like Christmas Eve, we're getting.
Hey,
listen, before the holiday, it's some fucking Discovery for you.
What's the only Star Trek Christmas episode?
It's the one where
there is one
creates it next week or the week.
No, there is one original series, right?
There is one because I'm doing a show tomorrow about all things that are Christmassy, but you didn't know they were Christmassy. Remember the episode where they go back to the Roman times in the old Star Trek, and they're having the gladiator fights, and they're all worshiping the sun, and at the end, Uhura shows up.
That's true.
It's not you could count that as the sky; it's the Son of God.
Yeah, that's true.
It would be amazing to watch it all happen all over again.
So. There's also Dagger of the Mind, where the mind wiping machine that Inspector Luger from Barney Miller runs.
Yes, Luger,
you're in love with her.
James Gregory.
And they and the yeoman that is on the mission with them. She says they got together at the Christmas party.
Oh, they flashed back to that, didn't they? Yes,
yeah.
I remember that.
That's the one I was thinking of. That actually does say Christmas and everything. Christmas.
Not like that Die Hard. I got flack last night. I said Die Hard
is a Christmas movie.
As much as a Christmas movie as The Last Jedi is a Star Wars movie. They're not. And people went nuts on that one. How
it's a Christmas movie.
That? I'm like, it's not a Star Wars movie.
And it ends with Bing singing "Let It Snow." How you doing, everybody? Hey, guess what? I can tell the building's okay now.
Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, absolutely, Batman Returns. It ends with "Merry Christmas, sir." I'm sorry. Yeah,
that's Goodwill to Men. Yeah,
definitely.
All right.
No, it's a good subject for you. I like it. When is that? Are you doing it live?
We're recording it tomorrow, and then it'll be on next week. Last week we did Flash Gordon. Talked about that for an hour. I hate that movie. I talked about why I hate that movie.
Honestly, man, we're too old. Because
my buddy's 50, and I guess there's a 2 or 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was a kid.
He was 50 in 1980, or he was 10 or whatever, and he loved it. And I was 14 and thought it was the stupidest, cheesy, dumb disco. I couldn't watch 5 minutes of it. It's so bad.
Well, that's
the beauty of Flash Gordon. I go, it sucks, dude.
Honestly, I mean, I didn't like berate him over it, but Alex Ross and I had that same conversation 2 weeks ago
that movie
because he was 10 years old when he saw it.
It is a 10-year-old thing. You have to be 10 years old. Yeah,
it's a kids movie, definitely. It's a kids movie with a lot of pervy. It's a kids movie with a
lot of weird shit. That princess, I go, was she a porno
hotter
actress?
Than hell.
Melanie Anderson,
yeah.
No,
Melanie Anderson was fine, but Princess Amidala, holy crap.
Princess whatever.
She was Arnella.
Yes, Arnella something.
Yeah, Italian actress, yeah.
Yeah, where is she in this picture? There she is. That's her right there. I mean, come on. That's
boy.
That's a hottie.
Exactly. Pretty much dressed like that too.
That's before Princess Leia's slave outfit. Come on.
And Timothy Dalton. And why does Timothy Dalton look exactly the same almost?
I don't know. I said, you know what the problem with this movie is? Everybody's in a different movie. Dalton's doing Shakespeare. Brian Blessed's doing Broadway. Sam Jones isn't even using his real voice. He's dubbed. Everybody's in their own movie in that thing. No one's in control of what the fuck is supposed to be happening.
Stuart is right, and I totally forgot in that Dagger of the Mind episode of the original series, the yeoman's name is there it is. It's Yeoman Noel.
Oh,
Christmas. Even more of a Christmas story.
Oh.
Genius.
So anyway,
it says he told Sam Jones how much he loved Flash Gordon at the Mohegan Sun Starbucks. How you doing, everybody?
Yeah. Sam is a great guy. Sam Jones is a great guy. He's a fantastic human being. The movie's a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. That great documentary about his career.
Yeah. Oh, his whole life. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Did you watch? Is there an Outer Limits Christmas episode?
I'm sorry.
Is there an Outer Limits Christmas episode? Or are you done with that show?
Well, there was a Christmas episode that aired. In the first season, or I should say, it aired the week of Christmas, but it wasn't a Christmas episode per se. So no, I don't believe there is a pure Outer Limits Christmas episode. And I'm not sure to be honest, man, 50-50 in terms of me remembering these episodes. Okay. And thank you for giving me the opportunity right now to say for people watching, we will be doing to the Outer Limits in about it's a good plug. About 4 hours and change. 11:30 Central Time, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, and it's a good episode tonight. It's The Invisibles, not to be confused with the Neil Gaiman series, but it's Don Gordon and everybody else that's in it, and it's one of the better first season episodes. But yeah, there's a lot of them that I don't remember watching.
Oh.
And I'm watching fresh for the first time, or whatever. Or
I bring it up because I watched Night of the Meek with Art Carney the other night, which I finally found out why it looks so different, because they actually filmed it on videotape because they were experimenting with cheaper forms of filming.
Right.
And I'm like, why does this episode look so odd, like a soap opera?
Well, they discovered in Twilight Zone the original videotapes of certain episodes like that, because there's also the one where Jack Carson is the used car salesman.
And he can't stop telling the truth?
Yes. And also the one with Inger Stevens, where she's a rich daughter, and the parents are like, you can't leave the house. And finally she's an android.
Yes.
And those I have seen in actual 60s black and white videotape. And remember seeing the kinescopes when I was, when they were first in syndication. So I don't know if there is an existing Christmas videotape of The Night the Meek Inherit the Earth, or whatever it's called.
They're all on Netflix. That's where I caught it last night, and it just looks so clean and crisp. I'm like, wow, look how.
Oh, so maybe that is because, again, for years in syndication, I saw the kinescope of it.
Yeah, And I thought of that because the guy that was Piglet's voice was on Star Trek when they met Jack the Ripper. He was, I'll kill all of you.
Right, John Fiedler.
Yes, and he's in the store manager that Art Carney works at. It's a great little episode.
He's the original Vinny in the Odd Couple movie.
Yes, in Speed and the whole crew. Yeah,
12:30. I'm going to be up at 12:30.
Yeah, all good shows, quality stuff. Not Star Trek Discovery, but those are good shows.
Sorry, Wayne, you're right. Grant Morrison did The Invisibles. Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
so also, if we're plugging the new book Archimaniacs is out from Balthazar. It's out in bookstores now. Go out and get one. And we're getting great reviews, so thank you very much. Batcow's not in it though. No.
Wow.
Spoiler: Batcow's not in it.
Yeah. Damn it!
Do you get any money from those plushies of Batcow? No.
I'm sure if we sell enough, I'm sure. Yeah.
I got a Joker fish back there too. That's also an art.
I saw that before.
Yeah. Look at that.
Very nice.
We're all plugging everybody's other stuff.
It's true. Goddamn, we've gone over an hour and 15 minutes.
Well, no, I got to ask a question. HBO is releasing all their movies, or Warner's is putting them all on HBO.
Right.
That's got sales up for HBO Plus or Max. Right. I mean, I'm glad I got that. And now you just announced all these Star Wars things that I got to go find out. So I'm glad I got my Disney Plus. I don't know what CBS Access is offering that makes me wonder why I pay $7 a month for this show. But
yeah, I hear you.
Star Trek Discovery is the agonizer. That's 100% correct, Stu Greenberg. You got that right. This is painful every week.
Agonizer, please.
Oh, they even enhanced that. Did you see it next week?
Oh yeah, the booth.
It's like crazy, like the Emperor's Lightning.
They had it in the first season. Yeah. I was bummed they kept talking about Lorca. And was really hoping Jason
he was going to show up.
Yeah.
Didn't happen though.
No, because they don't have money in the budget for that.
You think so?
Well, again, look at how much money they're spending on the writing. So no, I'm going to.
Book was on it. We didn't mention that. There was a throwaway scene with Book that.
Book wants to be
added nothing to the show. I was like, what was this?
I think it's set up, and they didn't need it, but Book's like, hey, I want to be in Starfleet, and Saru's like, well, maybe your time to prove yourself is coming. And you'll show your value,
whatever. Hey, way to telegraph that.
Exactly. Meanwhile, they're towing his spaceship in their hangar bay. Who's paying for the rental on that stuff?
No,
and
I don't.
The other thing is Discovery.
No, I don't know. What do you mean?
No, it's just there. It's like, why doesn't he just dock it over at the spaceport with the rest of the stuff? What was that big space station at the end? Was that Deep Space Nine?
That's the.
No
station where Giorgio's new throne is and everything.
Yeah,
it wasn't Deep Space Nine.
It kind of looked a little. I was like, I wonder if.
Oh, I didn't think it looked like.
I thought it did.
I did. I thought it was going to turn into Deep Space Nine somehow. But wouldn't that be something?
Well, they are in near the Gamma Quadrant, and maybe that is Terok Nor. I don't know. We haven't seen any Cardathians, so I don't really know.
Maybe Native Visitor will show up as, wasn't she the Empress? Oh, no, she was the head of Cardassia with her leather outfit. Remember she had that Catwoman outfit?
Oh, the attendant. Yeah,
yes.
Kira.
Yes.
Well, she was part of sorry, but I got to point this out because once again, what the fuck ever happened to the Alliance? Well, actually, we do kind of know because I guess the Terrans are now back in control of the Mirror Universe. Things have, no, that was prior.
No, then in Enterprise, they had a flashback episode, and his character was it Archer's character or was it Sisko? One of them was going to start a rebellion to overthrow it for the Terrans. Wasn't that the story?
No. You see, we're getting our timelines mixed up.
Oh,
Giorgio was Empress.
Yes,
while the Terrans were still in control of the Mirror Universe. In the 24th century, in Deep Space Nine's period, that's in the future, and the Alliance overthrows the Terrans. And the Alliance was the Klingons, the Cardassians, and the Bajorans.
Okay. Yes.
So, yes.
All
so, let me answer my own question. Yes.
All right. I'm jumping ahead here.
So, yeah. And as Stuart pointed out, what was that thing? It was Giorgio's flagship. Yes.
Oh. So. Still no mention of the board.
That's the station they destroyed.
Okay, that's what it was. All right. That's why it was all firing weird shit looking. I don't know.
All right, so we'll see.
Can't wait for next week. Can't wait for a couple more hours
because I've got so many unanswered questions that are just going to keep me awake from now until next Thursday, as I'm sure will be the case of all of us.
The Mandalorian's on in about 10 hours. So.
There you go. So come back for the Hate Fest next week. Stay for the pie. Come for the hatred, stay for the pie, and everybody have a good.
Maybe the second half of this will get better.
Yeah, sure will. we're past the halfway point, but yeah, let's certainly hope so.
Tilly could come back in that outfit; it'll be fine.
I'd like to. I'll straighten her hair out.
If they ever heard what you guys said, we'd never be on the internet again.
Lily. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm trying to find the. There it is. Okay.
The off button.
Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. We'll talk to you next week. Live long and prosper, and get the hammer out for next week's episode of Star Trek Discovery. Later, everybody.